Hi guys, this is Jack with Team Empire, and today we are doing our fourth deck test video for set 12. I'm really enjoying the deck tests, and I'm glad that seem to be doing pretty well, and y'all seem to like them. So I'm gonna keep doing them, and we're almost done with set 12. I'd say we're about maybe halfway there, maybe a little bit less than halfway there, or more than halfway there, I should say. We're going to be covering Bastion as our next deck, which got a really good upgrade in set 12 in the form of Bastion Accord. Bastion Accord is a very powerful card that has two really powerful effects. The first one is that all of the grade 3 or greater rear guards in the front row cannot be chosen by card effects and get plus 5k. So basically turns all your grade 3s into 18k attackers and makes sure that they can be retired by decks like Gandiva, can't be locked by Messiah, can't be bottom decked by Jet. So very powerful effect because Bastion always kind of struggled with board removal, so I'm glad they gave him like a really good solution to it. And the second part of the skill can just stand something for free at the end of the battle he attacked, which is just really amazing. And also can give one of your grade 3s a restand, or not restand effect, sorry. And can give one of your grade 3s drive checks if you just counter loss 1, discard a Bastion, which can be hard sometimes, but most of the time it's actually pretty easy. I'm going to be going over the deck and what the decisions I made was for my list, but Bastion is a deck to where there's a lot of options, so there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. For my list in particular, there's some obvious ones here. Alden is probably going to stay in the deck for as long as Bastion is a deck. It's a card that's still insane. An obvious inclusion is Darkstrain, just because Darkstrain is really good during those prime turns. Speaking of prime turns, we still do play Prime, because Prime is just like a really good finisher, but also you need to play Bastions in order to discard them for Accord's second part of his second skill. So that's why we do play the Primes. And then for some new inclusion or automatic inclusions also is the Forbidal Surrogate, just because that card is crazy. It can call 2 grade 3s or add Bastion Prime from your deck to your hand. It's just crazy. But calling Alden from the deck is like really crazy, really insane. But for new cards we play 2 copies of Sages, as Sages gets extra power as long as our opponent hits a defensive, and compared to all the other cycles from Festival where they all get 10k if they hit a defensive, his is even better because you can use the second part of his second skill to counterblast 1 and gain the opponent's power as your own power. So he gets even stronger if your opponent hits a defensive, which is just crazy. Another thing you can do with him that's pretty interesting is that if you swing with your other grade 3 and you swing with Bastion, you do all your other swings, and then your last swing is Sages, you can look at the top card of your deck. It could be like a heal, over, or draw. You can just leave it on top and then immediately know what your defensive check is going to be. I know a lot of people use it like offensively, so they can like kind of manipulate their deck to get offensive drive checks, which is good. But in those situations, I like using it more defensively. And next up, we have Form Up of Chosen Knights. Because we're going to be staying on our grade 3 Vanguard a lot longer, this can be a really powerful effect to use just to be able to give our Vanguard triple drive, draw some extra cards into extra pieces, and mostly just like have even more drive checks. We can have 5 drive checks on turn 3 if we're going second. Next, we play our 4 copies of this double rare, which is Grandeur Edge Dragon, who has a really powerful effect where it just gets 10k power and 10k shield as long as you have a Bastion Vanguard, and that is not during only your turn. So you can just plop this guy down, and since Prime's effect, or Accord's effect I should say, is also on the opponent's turn, you'll have a 28k rear guard that cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effect, so it's very hard for your opponent to get rid of it. On top of that, he does count as 2 grade 3s when you reveal him for the cost of your ride deck, and that is why we are playing the Bastion ride deck, or ride line. The final card we have is our yellow Jeweled Beast. I actually like playing these Jeweled Beasts in the decks. It makes it sound like I manipulated it to where all the Jeweled Beasts would be played in these decks. I did not. I just thought of like a non-grade 3 that could be pretty good to play in Bastion, and the first one that came to my mind was Topaz, as he's a really good effect to look at top 5 cards of your deck and call 1 card with a grade equal to or less than your Vanguard. So if you're on grade 3 turn, you can use it to try and fish for an Alden. You can use it to try and fish for a Sages or a Grandeur Edge, one of your attackers, or even a Dark Strain later on prime turns. It's just really powerful. And also the last thing I want to talk about, triggers I think are pretty obvious. You want to be able to hit those crits in Bastion just to try and kill your opponent. Draws, drawing your pieces, and heals are obvious. I still play the Keter Sanctuary over trigger. This is the only Keter deck where I feel like you still could play the Keter Sanctuary over trigger, just because of, like, you play a bunch of grade 3s, so getting twin drive, twin drive, twin drive, or triple drive, twin drive is just really powerful. The final thing I wanted to talk about is we are not actually playing the Owl promo that Bastion got. I don't even remember its name. Here, we are not playing Sapient Owl, and the reason why is because I like to play these decks as if it's an English format right now, so I don't like to use promos that I don't know when they're coming out in English. So I want this video to be able to be played when set 12 is coming out over here in English, and so someone can look at this and look at my list and see if they want to change some things. If Sapient Owl does come out in set 12, it'd be all more power to Bastion players, because this card really is insane. But I don't want to play with it just in case it's not released in set 12 format, so my list will have to be changed. I wanted to try and work around it. But if he was available, I'd probably take out the Topaz, maybe one of the Sageses, and one of the Forma, or maybe just 2 of the Forma, so we can have 1 order each. But with that being said, let's go into CFA and let's do some test games. I wanted to bust out the Apostle guy from G, just because Toya's on here, but it's not his like Chad design from Wildress. Alright, we have our first opponent. Hello, heads or tails? Drew into the Accord, that is nice. We're going to bottom deck these 3. Fortunately, we do not have 3 grade 3s, but I think that will get solved eventually. Tails is heads, so we are going first. Looks like we're facing Bob Sargro. Man, people really like this deck. So we're gonna draw for turn. That is actually, it's pretty bad because Bob Sargro can actually retire our board, since her removal does not actually target. We are gonna ride into the fort and pass turn. They're going to draw for turn. They're going to discard the shield to ride into the Namor Car, and then probably use Namor Car's effect first. Soul Blast the starter to grab the sword, I assume. Since you can only grab the sword or shield, and he just discarded the shield. Yep. He's going to use the effect of starter to draw a card. Draw for start. Okay, now we'll just say no guard. Unfortunately, we did hit an Alden. Maybe we should have guarded. we wouldn't have known. Draw into a crit. I'm going to discard the crit to ride. Use the effect of our fort to reveal these 2. To call a top card of our deck, which is a Bastion Accord. And we're just going to put that down on the rear guard. And we're going to swing at his rear guard, or his vanguard, for 10. No guard, check. Okay, cool. We have 3 grade 3s now. He's gonna check a draw, which is kind of annoying. But now we're just gonna pass the turn. He's gonna discard the sword to ride into Halibadra and then probably grab the shield. So actually this is pretty good because we can use actually use a chord. We can't use a chord effect. So I think we'll just discard the Bastion Prime for the next turn. I was thinking we could like use the effect, but we can't. But we can still have the Bastion Accord for Persona Ride in the next turn. Gonna swing at our Vanguard probably. Yeah. And in this case, we'll no guard because there's a chance we could high roll off the Jewel Beast to get Alden. Oof, form up. That's not good, but it'll be all right. Draw. Drew into a PG. We're gonna discard the Prime to ride the Accord. Use the effect to reveal 3 grade 3s from our hand to draw a card. Nice, so we got the form up. That's pretty good. Okay, now I will call Dark Strain. Call another Dark Strain. Use the effect to Soul Blast the 2 cards we're going to put back into our ride deck so we can actually take advantage of them. Activate the effect, returning both Fort and Rooks back into the ride deck. And we're just check top 5. We actually found a Sages off of that, which is really nice. We're gonna activate the form up to give our Vanguard the 5k. Gonna draw 1, and then we're going to have triple drive. So now we're gonna enter the battle. We're gonna swing with Bastion Prime, or Bastion Accord, I should say. I always get those two mixed up for some reason. Oh wait. I forgot to get the 5k. Now we're 31. I assume he's just going to take this. He's going to take it. It is a crit. Activate the effect to pick up plus 10k. Then we're going to actually do this first. Swing with Sages. We're not going to use the effect. So it is 41. Okay, that's actually really good now. So we will swing with Bastion Accord for 26 triple drive. But here's the thing. We'll restand Sages, and Sages will actually be able to use this effect to increase his power by 100 million and 20. So first check. Second check. Third check. Epic drive checks, classic Bastion. We're gonna use the effect to restand. Swing, skill. Look at the top card of the deck. We're going to leave that card on top and then use the effect to counterblast 1. It's gonna take a while. It's actually kind of hurting my wrist. There has to be like an easier way to do this, because like this kind of hurts. 100 million and 20. 100 million and 48. He's just gonna PG it, okay. Okay, so now we know that we have a heal on top of our deck. And even though we checked over, we did force a PG out of his hand, which is really good. And now we know the over trigger is gone, so we don't have to worry about any restanding Vanguard shenanigans. Discard the Trick Moon to ride Bob Sargra. Gonna arm the shield. Can use Bob Sarga's effect. That's not how you soul charge. Okay. I don't know if he knows there's a soul charge button. Just gonna play. I haven't seen people play that card in a while. But Darla? Man, the sword and the shield setup. I haven't seen that since Trial Deck. Soul Blast 2. And keep in mind, this does actually bypass our protection from Accord, since it doesn't target. Here's the thing, though. I'm thinking about just literally PGing. Wow, is this like recent support? Oh my god. Okay, maybe I will PG Bob Sargra then. Maybe I will. I don't want to deal with all those big numbers, especially after he, like, if he checks like crit or something. I think this is an older deck. I don't think this has any of the set 12 support. It doesn't even look like it has any of the like set 6 or set 9 support. This looks like it's just like straight up set 4 or post festival. Yeah, no thank you. I'm gonna discard a Sajas for cost. A heal trigger. Kind of annoying. But if we hit a heal, then we can heal again. We already know we're gonna hit one. I meant like we hit another one. A draw. That's also kind of annoying. But the good news is we can just take both these other hits and be at 3 damage. Heal trigger. And we do heal. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna take it. Alright, stand and draw. We're gonna Persona Ride. Accord. Drawing 1. We're going to now activate the Orbit Surrogate and use the effect. We're going to search our deck for an Alden and a Prime. We're going to put the Prime into our hand and we're going to call the Alden. Alden's skill, we're going to CB2, Soul Blast 1, call the Alden from hand, and then draw 2 cards. The reason we're calling Alden and not him is that even though he can be bigger, I want to have a 10k shield for some of these attacks, because being at 3 is still kind of dangerous against Bob's. So his effect will activate. Unfortunately, we cannot Soul Blast 2 for Dark Strain, but that's okay. We have the Prime so we can get the drive checks. 33 on Van. Let's say we're gonna swing for 31 on Van. No guard. All right, first check, no trigger. Second check, no trigger, but a Persona ride for next turn, which is pretty nice. Gonna check a draw. This guy just loves checking his defensive draws. We're gonna use Bastion's effect, restand, and then he does still keep the 5Ks. I don't know why he lost it. Now he does not have the ability to drive check, unfortunately, since we did use Alden's effect. I kind of forgot about that, but it's okay. We're gonna swing for 33 on Van. Okay, then we're gonna swing again. This is 38. Okay. Now it is his turn. Okay, it was already high enough, but we want to work on this one. It's gonna Persona Ride into Bob's. It's gonna activate Bob's effect, Soul Blast 2, to pop our front row. Worst comes to worst, we could just move up Dark Strains. But preferably I want to call the big dragons. It's gonna call over for another one of that attacker. Interesting that he's swinging with that first. We're gonna take it. We're gonna PG, discarding the Alden for cost. And we are gonna take a damage because of the sword, but because of that Trick Moon and the other guy will lose power. It doesn't really matter. I was gonna go with the same thing anyways. My guy is really taking his time. Stand and draw. We have a 20k shield, which is nice. We're gonna Persona Ride. And this time we're going to call both of our dragons, which will pick up 15k each, thanks to Accord and their own skills. We're going to swing for 38. We'll take it. It is no trigger, thank God. We're going to swing with Bastion Accord for 31. From his drive checks, he only got a plus 5k shield from those drive checks, but he does still have the shield, which is 10k power. He's gonna drop 28, intercept, and use the shield for 43. So 2. First, a heal trigger. That's very nice for us. We are going to add the power here and heal Alden. And second check is a draw. We're going to give the plus 10k power to the one that's getting drive checks, and we're going to draw into a PG, which is super nice. Then we're going to use Bastion Accord to restand, swing, skill, counterblast, discard the prime to give him twin drive. Hoping he kind of has a... Yes. Kind of hoping he does have a PG that he can drop here. And if he doesn't, then we need to bank on checking a crit in order to kill him, which we do play 8 crit. Okay, a draw. We'll give the power to this one. We'll draw. Second check is a crit. We're gonna have the crit here and the power to the other one. And it looks like that is game. Oh, he does play Samadhi. That is game. Some very nice plays overall from him and from our deck too. Versus Bob's. And then we're going to play one more game since that game actually did run for quite a long time. Okay, we're facing our next opponent. This will be our final opponent for the Bastion Accord video. We'll say heads. Put back 2. I mean, we keep going first, which is nice with Bastion, and Bastion likes going first, but at the same time, I wanted to show off like Bastion Accord's drive check ability, and I only showed it off the last turn. Oh, look at that, it's a mirror match. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Good luck, have fun. Draw for turn. It is a Bastion Prime. We're going to discard the Prime to ride and go to his turn. You discard the grade 2, the one that like bottom deck something, which is like that's an alright card. He's gonna swing at us, and since he is going second, he will have access to drive checks, but we need damage, so I'll say no guard. Gonna drive check the Bastion forward, and we're gonna drive damage check a draw. We're gonna stand, draw. We're going to discard the draw trigger from our hands to ride and use the effect to reveal, and then call top card of our deck, which is a crit, which is kind of nice. We can use it whenever we want. We're going to swing for 14 on Van. Alright, drove check into a ride deck discard for next turn. He is playing a weird variation of the build because that's the guy from set 11 who Surge is uplifting him, which for those of you who don't know, that order is a Soul Blast 1 to give 2 of your units plus 5k. I guess you... Oh wow, he called the same thing as us. I guess you can call like mine the more conventional Bastion list, this looks like someone who wants to like play orders in Bastion. Who wants to play like grade 1s and grade 2s. So he actually has a copy of that card. He's going to search the Uplifting Hymn. This is the card I was talking about earlier. And yeah, you can also discard a card during the end phase to add it back to your hand. So it's like an order that you can pretty much just play as a one of, and then grab it whenever you want, because that one card does search it off of deck and drop. You're going to Soul Blast 1 and activate Uplifting Hymn to give 2 of his rear guards 5k power. And then also, that card will get 5k power since he played a normal order this turn. So you're probably going to move it up just because it is a good attacker. Or not. Man, I don't even know at this point. He's playing the set 11 cycle triple rare that can look at top 5 cards of the deck and call a card whose grade is equal to or less than your vanguards. He's going to call the one card that counts as a grade 3 in the hand. I can bottom deck one of my rear guards. He's going to swing for 10. Considering this is the only attack that I can block, we're going to guard. The rest of them are all like pretty big number. He's going to swing for 19 and we're going to no guard. He's going to drive check another Uplifting Hymn, which isn't like the best because I feel like the card's only good as like a 1-of. He's going to put the Soul Crit into Soul in order to give one of his units plus 2k, which is actually really good in this scenario because now it's 30 and we're just going to take it. But that's fine. We wanted 3 damage just so we can do Alden and do our order play. We're going to draw. We're going to discard the Form Up to ride Bastion Accord. Use the effect of Rooks to reveal 2 grade 3s in our hand with the Grandeur Edge counting as 2 to draw a card. Drew into the OT, which is never a great feeling, but it's 50k shield and the deck doesn't have a lot of shield. We're going to call Alden, use Alden's effect, CB2, Soul Blast 1, calling the Grandeur Edge to draw 2 cards. One of them is Sages and one of them is a Dark Strain. We're going to call the Dark Strain just in case. We're not going to use the effect. And the reason why is so we can use Form Up O Chosen Knights to Soul Blast 1, giving our Vanguard the +5, and then drawing 1, and then giving it triple drive. Bastion Accord's effect will give +5k for our rear guards, and then Grandeur Edge will get another +10 due to his effect. We are going to enter battle. We're going to swing Grandeur Edge, making it 28. He's going to check a crit, which is kind of annoying. However, these still can hit over. We're going to swing with Bastion Accord, who has triple drive. Alright, we're going to do triple drive. First check is a PG. Second check is an Alden. Third check is a PG. So we have a lot of PGs. And he's going to damage check a PG. His effect is going to restand. And then we're going to use the effect of Alden to power him up. This is 23. He's going to intercept with the guy who can't do anything anymore. He didn't actually need that much. Okay, I'm going to say, you don't need that much, dude. Alright, and then we're going to swing for 28 on the Vanguard. Unfortunately, we could not get the Twin Drive because he is on grade 2. So overall, we were able to even out the score, kinda. I mean, we have about the same hand size. He is busting out all sorts of weird, I guess he's playing like a grade 2 variant to the deck. You know, I was actually considering playing that card in the place of the Jewel Beast, but I quite like the Jewel Beast application. And I can actually search out some of your more important pieces and be a 20k shield when you need it. But if y'all want to try out the Spiral Cutie Angel, I don't think it's necessarily a bad play. He's going to activate the Uplifting Hymn to give 2 of his rear guards 5k, and the other rear guard will pick up another 5k. Which is cool. I kind of want to see his list. Let's hope this guy actually watches the channel. He can like share his list. He'll pick up another 5k power. And I forgot to mention, if he calls 2 more units, then she will get plus 10k power. Looks like she's not getting... Oh, 4 more units. Never mind, she will pick up plus 10k power. So this is a big old fat 28. Which is a pretty big number. Well, no guard. We check a crit and giving the power to Bastion Accord. He's gonna swing into our Alden. We're gonna... Oh, okay. That was close. We're gonna over to pass this. There's a lot of uplifting hymns he's playing. Like, really a lot. I'd say 2 is like the absolute max I would do, not 3. He's gonna boost for 46 and use the effect given to him by Accord. And now we're gonna, because of that, we're gonna PG. We're gonna discard an Alden for cost. Drive checks a draw. It's gonna be a 45k attacker, which is pretty huge. We're going to actually take this, and as a Forbidal surrogate. We're going to stand and draw. Unfortunately, we do not Persona Ride. Alright, we're going to move this back, and we're going to call a Grandeur Edge. Just so we can push for more power, pretty much. It was kind of a misplay. We could have also called Sages and just keep 10k shield in our hand regardless if our opponent checks the trigger. But that's fine. You live and learn. We're going to swing for 28 on his Vanguard. Gonna guard for 33. We're gonna swing with Bastion Accord for 17. Unfortunately, we'll have to like hard drive check into a Bastion to discard off a Bastion Accord. Is he gonna make it a 1 to pass? Okay, that's what I thought, because I was like, I don't think he would make it just a 1 to pass. Two. Alright. No trigger. No trigger. I'm gonna use Bastion's effect to restand. We're gonna swing for 28 on the Vanguard. We're gonna swing for 28 on the Vanguard. Nope. Nope, I don't have a Bastion, otherwise I would. Okay, cool. He guards with his over, so that's nice to know. He's gonna use the uplifting him again. Let's see, that's how we I was about to say something really stupid. I was gonna say he's uplifting him unless he doesn't have soul, but he just persona rode, so these are pretty massive attacks. We might just lose here. Gonna use the Spiral Cutie Angel to look at top 2. He can manipulate them in any way he wants, or you know, he has to add one and then leave the other on top, put it on the bottom. Gonna swing for 43. Gonna over. PG discarding the Alden. Gonna drive check a crit, giving all the effects to the one that doesn't get the drive check. Oh no. So now he's gonna give the effects to the other one, which is kind of huge. So he's gonna restand it using Bastion Cord. So it's 66 with Twin Drive. All right. So here's the play. I think the play here is to 28, 38, 58. $63. It's not enough. It's not enough because of that double crit. To be honest, I probably shouldn't have called him down, but it's not enough. We just gotta say no guard. Damn, he outplayed us with double crit. Oh my god. Alright, GG's, man. Alright, so that was kind of an underwhelming ending for Bastion, but it is, in the end, my build is still Bastion because it can just like draw grade 3s, and if you don't draw grade 3s, then it's like, well, what am I gonna do now? That guy's list is looked pretty interesting though. I might try it out on my own, or if you want me to record a video with that list, I can. But with that being said, I should say, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.